Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Beltway Book Club. I am your host, Ellen Menny, and I am so excited to talk to my guest today, Leslye Penelope. She is the author of now 17 books.
Yes, I can't believe it either.
I know. It's so cool, so cool. And we are talking about your book, The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas. A great title, a great cover.
Thanks.
And so excited to chat with you. First of all, tell me a little bit about your new book.
So this book is about a young woman, Zahara, who when she's 16 years old, she sees her twin sister get hustled into a car with a stranger. And moments later, no one remembers her sister exists, not even their mother. So for a long time, she thinks that she's crazy. And 4 years later, on the eve of the Y2K crisis, she finds evidence that her sister was real. And so the book is really about her hiring a private investigator to figure out what happened to her sister, Annika.
I'm already locked in. I mean, what a incredibly compelling premise. What was the motivation behind this book? What inspired you to write this specific story?
Yeah, so I was thinking a lot about families and sisterhood, and I have a younger brother, and just like the family dynamics. And I think everyone thinks their family is a little bit dysfunctional in some way. And so there's sacrifices that you make for your loved ones. And so Zahara's in this position where she's made a lot of sacrifices because her sister has been chronically ill. And so when her sister disappears, and her life completely changes and shifts, she gets like her dream life, like everything she wanted but couldn't have before, but she doesn't have her twin. And so it's kind of about guilt and sacrifice and family and also technology. We have the Y2K crisis looming large, and there's magic. Obviously, I'm a fantasy writer, so it's a contemporary-ish fantasy story about the impact of technology on humanity and things like that. So it's a lot of things in one, and also kind of twisty, turny mystery thriller story.
Did the Y2K have a big impact on you? Like, do you remember where you were, and did your experience kind of influence how you wrote the book?
A bit, yeah. So in the late 90s, I was at Howard University, and I was a film major, but I was a computer science minor.
Yeah.
And so I was doing all kinds of computer science stuff, and I do remember where I was, New Year's Eve, 1999, I was at home. I was renting the Prince concert, like pay-per-view.
Oh.
You can remember pay-per-view?
Yes.
And so I was like, I was not going to be out, the world might have ended. We didn't know. Like, we were scared, right? So I was safe at home. And just that whole... The idea had kind of stayed with me, this whole these global events. And so, 6 years after the pandemic, when I was writing this with fears of AI and, this global change that AI has wrought on our humanity, basically on every aspect of ourselves, it seemed like there were parallels that could be made there with technology and the way that we interact with it.
Absolutely. And I think as all of us millennials and everyone else, Gen X, everyone else who experienced the millennium, we're definitely looking back on it, I think, more and more. Another part of the story that I love, that I guess is like a personal fave of mine, is the concept of when Zahara's sister disappears, nobody remembers her. That's such an evocative element to any story. I feel like we have like old wives' tales that go back thousands of years that tackle that. What was it like writing that element?
It brings to mind mythology, folklore, which I always infuse into my books. And just someone being missing. Also, the 90s is an interesting time. You had people like kids on milk cartons and things like that. So, and you could still get lost without a smartphone in your pocket, without GPS. It was a little bit easier for people to just fall off the face of the earth in non-magical ways.
Right.
And so, writing that, someone who's pulled out of their life, it just sparked my imagination. Like, what would it take to shift the world around you? I grew up watching The Twilight Zone, and it felt like a very Twilight Zone concept where, you're just gone, and one person in the whole world remembers you ever lived.
Right. Ooh, it's like I got chills. What do you hope people get out of this book? Because I know you've talked about this is a book about siblinghood. This is about kind of how we live our lives and how people influence them.
Yeah, and it's about finding a place to belong, which is a theme that I come back to in my books.
Yeah,
and I think I would just want people to maybe think about technology. I mean, I love tech and gadgets, but also I acknowledge the difficulties and the struggles that they can cause.
Right.
And so thinking about technology, thinking about our families and our relationships. And it's another book where just thinking about what we sacrifice for one another, for the people that we love, and our loved ones are so important to our lives. But it can be very difficult, especially many of us have parents getting older, or if you're raising children, it's just there's so many sacrifices that you have to make for love, and I just wanted to explore that in different ways.
That's a beautiful thing. Do you have a favorite character in this book, especially to write?
Annika, the missing sister, is probably my favorite.
Okay, yeah.
We get to meet her through a bunch of found documents. So we see her emails and her chat history. I try to build a picture of this person who, in the present day of the book, is missing. And her personality just really shines through. So in order to create a character that's not on the page until relatively late, it just forced me to get into her head. She's a hacker. My background in computer science does not include hacking, but it was always a thing that I wished I could do. I was like,
right.
oh.
Like I'm in.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, logging in.
Right.
So it was just fun to explore that. Like, what would that have been like in that time period?
Have you written a book before with like kind of found documents and found footage and?
I have several books where there are like in-world documents that you get pieces of. I do a lot of chapter epigraphs. So in my epic fantasy series, Earthsinger Chronicles, every book in that series, which is 7 books, has epigraphs from some found document in that world. So I do like playing around with that kind of thing to get you a picture of the world, to make the world larger than what it is just in the story itself.
Absolutely. So cool. And then I know this book isn't set in DC, but as you said, you're a Howard grad. And how does DC influence your work as a whole, would you say?
Yeah, I have set a book in DC, and I don't think enough books are set in DC, so I hope to do more of it, because it's a location, my family, my mom's family, my mother and grandmother were born in DC, so I have a long line of native Washingtonians in my family. And I think growing up here, having that duality of, when you're from here, it's not the political town.
Right.
There's so many transplants who come for the politics, but the people who are generations deep, it's, they might work at the government, or someone's family works for the government or used to.
Right.
But that's not the core. And so it's a city, it has a lot of history, and I've done so much research on the history of the city. And I think it just influenced me in a place that's so transient, that's so tourist heavy, but is also a place where people live. And sometimes they forget, people looking at DC forget the people who have been here for generations and don't really, aren't here for the government.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, Leslye, we got to go to break, but it's great talking with you, and we'll definitely continue to chat. I want to hear about your writing and favorite books and all that. So everybody, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Beltway Book Club after this quick break. Thank you. Welcome back to the Beltway Book Club, everyone. I'm your host, Ellen Meny, and I've been chatting with my guest today, Leslye Penelope. She is the author of the book, The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas. I love that title. I love the cover. I've said it once. I'll say it again. We've chatted about the book, but I always love to ask people about the writing process. What was the writing process like for this book specifically? And you've written multiple books. So was it different? Was it similar?
It was very similar.
Okay.
I actually started writing this book almost 13 years ago.
Wow.
And so I had an idea, I had a draft. It was actually a spin-off of a book that I had never published. And so over the years, as I was contracted for other books, it kind of went to the wayside and I would come back to it. And so it was finally time to focus on it. And so it had been in my mind for such a long time and had been through a lot of changes. But usually my process, I'm a plotter.
Okay.
So I need to know the plot up front. And then I usually spend a few weeks or a few months just brainstorming, like brain dumping all the ideas, organizing them, and putting them into some kind of structure so that I can have a full synopsis and then write a first draft. And I believe in fast first drafts.
Okay.
So basically I write the first draft as fast as possible without any editing, because I tried editing, before, and I would get stuck on the first chapter for months.
It's a rough path. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I discovered fast drafting, that really changed my whole writing life. And so it's like, your first draft is supposed to be really messy. It's not supposed to be perfect. That's why I don't even really read it. I just write every day. And that's something I learned from NaNoWriMo. So when I was doing National Novel Writing Month for many years, it was like you had to get the words. If you read or tried to edit, I wouldn't get the words.
Right.
And so I brought that into my normal process. So fast first draft, slow editing, slow revision process.
Okay.
And that can take another few months, another few drafts. And then once I've gotten as far as I can go and I'm sick of the story and I start to hate it, that's when it's time for someone else to look at it. So a beta reader, my agent, maybe an editor or something like that.
That is such a great process. I imagine that's one of the reasons why you've written 17 books so successfully, because you have that process down. I mean, maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth, but
getting to the process has been its own process.
Yeah.
But I protect my writing time. I think that's
Yeah.
why.
Okay.
I'm really consistent. I don't write every day, but I usually am writing for at least 4 days a week.
Okay, nice.
And it's like I write in the mornings. I protect that time. It's on the calendar.
Yeah.
So, if I have to schedule something, but usually I block it off. And that's been really important. It's like if you don't honor yourself and protect that time, then it can go anywhere, and then it becomes really difficult to finish anything.
Yes, very true. A lot of writers who I've had on the show talk about protecting that time, and I think that's probably the number one thing for a lot of people. When I wanted to circle back, when you say fast draft, how fast are you talking?
So I would love to write the first draft, depending on how long the book is. So like this book, Zahara, is about 140,000 words. So that might be a month.
Okay.
The shorter
Wow.
book, I try to get it done in 2 weeks, like fast. Just
Okay.
dump out all the ideas.
Yeah.
It's very short. My first drafts are less than half of the length of the
I
final
see.
book.
Okay, gotcha.
It's a skeleton.
Okay, that's still so cool. I mean, that is awesome. And we've chatted a little bit about, well, off mic, we chatted about books a little bit, and I love asking the folks who come on the show, any favorite books you've had recently or in your childhood that have really just like stood out to you?
Well, one of my favorite books from childhood that I've reread many times is Mama Day by Gloria Naylor. And I read everything of Gloria Naylor's when I was young. I was reading a lot of books I was too young to read,
Yeah, yes, I
elementary,
relate. Yeah.
middle school. I mean, I read Beloved in the 6th grade, which I did a book report. I don't know what happened to it. I wish I could find that.
Oh.
I don't know if I understood anything about that book.
Right.
But and Octavia Butler was also a big influence. I discovered her in college, and Wild Seed is one of my very favorite books of all time.
Absolutely. Such great books. Any books you've read recently that have particularly stood out to you?
Yeah, I really loved The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. It's a contemporary romance. It takes place in the D.C. area.
Yeah.
And that was really fun. I also really loved The Broken Hearts Agency by Clarence A. Haynes, which is more of a paranormal, also set in D.C., coincidentally enough.
Love that. More DC books.
Yeah,
We love them.
exactly. Yeah, that's been great. And Nicole Glover is one of my very favorite writers and a friend. Her book, The Star Seekers, is alternate 1960s with magic and like the NASA program. So it's like an engineer, and they have who has a TV show teaching kids about space, but it's also a mystery. Really fun, really magical.
I love that. I also like to ask, how many books do you read a year?
So usually my Goodreads challenge is, depending on the year, between 100 and 120.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for people who want to read more books?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten into audiobooks a lot lately.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was hard for me to read fiction with audio, but as my eyes get older, and it's nice to be able to wash dishes and be listening to the books. And, having reading time, I actually do have okay, I'm not going to watch TV tonight, or if someone asks me to do something, I'll go out and have it with friends. But I also need to recharge as an introvert.
Yes.
And so having just evenings when I'm just going to read, I'll just be like, no, I'm not actually going to go to whatever that thing is. I want to sink into the book. It's entertainment, it's self-care. It's also part of my job. I have to be reading.
Right.
I feel like the need as a writer, I can't write effectively if I'm not filling the well with good words. So it's part of my whole entire fabric of life.
That makes total sense. And what I'm hearing is you're very intentional about how you spend your time. And I feel like I imagine you kind of need to do that at this point.
Yeah, definitely. When I first decided to take writing very seriously, I stopped watching 90% of my TV shows.
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I didn't know how I was going to find the time to write.
Right.
And it's just, you have to find the time. You have to stop doing other things because everyone has the same 24 hours, but how do you use them? So yeah, since then, I started being very intentional. And I think that's another reason why I've been able to write so many books.
All great advice. We have to go to break, but when we come back, I want to talk about the book's not out yet, but I'm going to talk about when people can get it, all that good stuff, where you're going to be for events. So thank you so much. And everybody, stay tuned. We will be right back. There we go, with more Beltway Book Club after this quick break. Welcome back to the Beltway Book Club, everyone. I'm your host, Ellen Menny, and I've been chatting with Leslye Penelope. She is the author of The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We've been talking a lot about your writing, and you already gave some great advice, but I wanted to ask you if you had any other advice for folks who want to jump into writing.
Yeah, I think the best advice that I ever got was to do it first in terms of people. The number one question I get is, how do I find the time to write?
Yeah.
And so doing it first or as close to first as possible.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that meant waking up earlier, waking up at 5:30, 6 a.m. It is hard. You don't have to do it for the rest of your life, but to get that momentum going, really prioritize it. I write best in the morning. Some people actually write best in the evening.
Yeah.
So there's, whatever works for you. But yeah, like we talked about, blocking off time on the calendar, making an appointment with yourself, doing it first, and also finding a community. That's been the other game changer for me. I write romance as well as fantasy. So I joined Maryland Romance Writers, which is a local organization, which has helped me immensely. Whatever genre or whatever location, there's usually some kind of writing group. Sometimes there's meetup groups that you can find or even start. But it's such a solitary pursuit. So finding other people that you can commiserate with and get advice from and learn from has been just a huge game changer in my writing world.
Absolutely. Having that community is so important. Totally agree. I have another question specifically about the cover, which I was wondering about it. So I was looking at your social media earlier, and apparently a lot of your covers feature the main character looking to the side.
Right.
And this cover obviously does that. It's a fantastic cover. I gotta ask, did you plan for a lot of your covers to have the character facing the side, or
Not at all. I just noticed it one day. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, everybody's in profile. What's
Right.
that about? We don't get a lot of control over the covers
Right.
with traditional publishers. So that's just what I've been getting, and different publishers too.
Wow.
So I think maybe it's a dramatic pose
Yeah.
or it's mystery, but it's
Well,
funny.
it is funny, but the cover is fantastic. I love the purple. It's great. Anyway, I digress. I had to ask about that. And then I wanted to ask, when can people get this book, because it's not yet out as of recording this?
Right, yeah, it'll be out Tuesday, August 11th. It's in ebook, paperback, and audiobook. I get a lot of questions about the audio. I love audio too, and so I'm really excited about these narrators that we have. So August 11th. You can pre-order it now. You can get it from the library. You can get it on the 11th.
Awesome. Do you have any events coming up for the book?
Absolutely, yeah. Thursday, August 13th, I have an event with Mahogany Books at National Harbor. So that's at 7 p.m. I will be in conversation with my friend, author Cerise Rennie Murphy, and we'll be signing books and discussing it. So I would love for people to come out to that.
Fantastic. And then you have 16 other books available for purchase. Even though The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas is not out yet, you got 16 other books that people can buy. Where can people buy them?
Well, local bookstores, a lot of my books are in local bookstores. I do sell signed copies on my website as well, and most of them are available at whatever online retailers that you prefer. So they are hopefully widely available.
Fantastic. And then, okay, weird question. You've written 17 books. Is there a number that you hope to achieve? I mean, do you have like a goal number set for the number of books you write?
I don't have a goal number. I really want to be always writing.
Yeah.
Like I think about the idea of retiring, and it's like, I don't know. I think I'll always have ideas. I know I have more ideas than I have time left on the earth to write them. So I hope that I'll just use the rest of my time to be doing that.
Absolutely. I love that. And my last question, we got to bring it back to DC. You being a Howard grad, I didn't ask this before, but I want to ask it now. How do you think Howard has influenced your writing and your books?
Yeah, I mean, going to Howard was just such an amazing experience. I was there at a time with so many other wonderful creative people were there, and I learned so much. I mean, even though I was in the film program, different kind of creativity, but still learning about drafting, even drafting scripts from Professor Haile Garima, that first draft concept actually we learned about there too. And there was just so much infusing culture into my work, infusing history, real history, which I've been doing the last few books. That is definitely a legacy of studying at Howard University, studying in a place with so much history and culture. And all my books are very unapologetically Black. They're for everyone, but they're really centered on the Black American experience. And I feel like definitely Howard has a huge impact on myself as a person and as an artist.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's beautiful that it's impacted you in that way. Okay, one more question. I lied. That wasn't the last question. You live in Maryland. You've lived a lot of your life in the DMV. Do you have any favorite DC restaurants?
Ooh.
Sorry, and I know that is a, out of left field question, but I have to ask.
I've been going to Hollander's in Silver Spring. I guess not
Okay.
technically DC.
That's okay.
But,
It's
great
DMV.
steakhouse and yeah, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, big buffet. Their buffet are very good.
Fantastic. All right. Had to get that out there. We always love our local restaurants on the show. Well, thank you so much for joining me. If people want to follow you, if you have a newsletter or anything like that, how can people keep up?
Yeah, I have a newsletter on my website, lpenelope.com, and you can get the first 3 chapters of the book actually when you sign up. And I'm on Instagram mostly as Leslye Penelope, Leslye with A-Y-E.
Fantastic. And that book, once again, The Inevitable Undoing of Zahara Douglas, available August 11th. Yes, yeah, August 11th. Thank you so much for joining me and for chatting on the show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. And everybody, thank you so much for watching the Beltway Book Club. Keep writing, keep reading, and we will see you next time. Have a great one, everyone.